everyone, this is Jennifer with Family Adventures Overlanding. I've been wanting to do some videos of some of our cooking recipes that we have that'll be in the Kielbasa Scottle recipe book. And I'm in my backyard tonight because we haven't been able to get out and do any camping trips for me to do these videos, and I really want to get them out for everybody to enjoy and start seeing how we do some of our camp cooking. We use the Scottle actually quite a bit just in our backyard as just a daily thing to cook our dinner on. So sorry about some of the traffic in the background or any noise that you may hear. I'll try to talk as loud as I can so you can hear what I'm doing. So tonight for you guys, I want to make pierogies with, I have kielbasa sausage and then just a mixture of some yellow squash. I also have some green zucchini, red peppers, carrots, and some onions. I just kind of pick up whatever sounds good in the grocery store and just mix it up as I want to. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. I haven't preheated my Scottle or anything, so you guys get to see everything from literally the beginning all the way to the end. So I'm going to go ahead and before I add any big amount of oil to cook my pierogies, I'm going to start my Scottle. And right now I have it on probably about medium heat. Very rarely do I actually go on high heat with the Scottle. It just tends to burn way too fast. So you want a good amount of oil in the middle because we're going to cook our pierogies first. And once we get done with our pierogies, we're going to move them outward here. So I'm going to let that heat just for a minute or so here. Then we'll go ahead and we'll get the pierogies on. What I like to do is, since you're going into hot heat and these are frozen, so I don't thaw them, I just kind of put it on the side and bring it down. Once my temperature gets up, I'm going to turn it down, but for right now we're going to do this. A little bit more oil because we are starting to stick. Just want to keep them as close as you can to the center. You will have to rotate these as you cook them so you can cook them all evenly and at the same temperature. Try to get them all done about the same time. Alright, so once we have them all on there, if you do have the Kielbasa Scottle, go ahead and just cover them for a few minutes. If you don't have the lid, just go ahead and cover it really with any foil. It just helps speed up the cooking process. If you don't have the lid, just don't worry about it. It'll still cook the same. You just have to be a little bit more attentive on flipping them over and keeping them cooking evenly. And then after just a couple of minutes, go ahead and check them. I have this one right in the middle that wants to cause me problems. And even though these are on the outside, I still flip them over just so I can keep track of how they're all cooking. Alright, so once you get them all flipped, I'm going to go ahead and cover it back up for a few minutes. Let them cook a few more minutes on the other side. And then after they've cooked for a couple more minutes on that side, we'll go ahead and we'll remove our lid again. And this time, when I check them and flip them, I'm actually going to rotate them around. So some of these on the outside get more towards the center. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more oil as well, so it can come up a little bit more on the scuttle. Alright, so once you got them all flipped back over, you're just going to cover it back up. Let them cook for a few more minutes. And really it's just a game of flipping them, rotating them. I'm going to add a little bit more oil here. Help cook some of these up towards the top here too. Here we go. Now they're cooking nice. They're starting to get nice and brown real fast since I added that extra oil. What I like to do is once they're starting to brown like this, you can feel them starting to get soft before they turn completely brown. Is to season the pierogies, I do like to cook a little bit of onions with it. Take about half the onions that I've chopped up. I save the other half for when I do the vegetables. And then I do a little bit of garlic powder on it. Go ahead and let that finish cooking up, and we'll probably rotate them and flip them one more time. We'll see how they brown. Alright, so after a couple of minutes, we are going to check them again. You really want to make sure that you get them done here, because for the way I do them, I don't re-add them after the sausage and vegetables until they're done. So it's more like I'm just throwing them back in to heat them up towards the end. And I still have my heat on about medium here. And I do keep it there for the majority of cooking this. Alright. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cover it back up for a few more minutes. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. These aren't cooking fast enough for you. Certainly turn up the heat, but you're going to really need to watch it because they will burn fast and not cook the insides. I like my pierogies just like a light golden brown, not real dark and burnt. So certainly cook them to whatever color that you want to, just as you would in your skillet in your house. I have just a couple more here that I want to get a good crusting brown on the outside here. That shouldn't take but a couple more minutes here. Some of these that I like the color on, I'll start moving them up top here so they'll just stay warm at the top of the scuttle. Finish off these last few here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn my heat off because I don't want that oil popping all over the place with just those few pierogies in there. I am going to take some of that oil off here in a minute before I add in my vegetables. I'm going to keep most of those onions down in there though. Alright, I'm going to soak up a little bit of this oil. You don't want all of it to come up, but you do want to keep some of it on the scuttle. I don't cook the sausage right away with the vegetables. I like to let the vegetables cook a little bit. I'm not going to have a lot of that fat that's coming off of the sausage to cook the vegetables in. But I don't want to do brand new oil either, because I like the flavor in these pierogies. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to restart my skottle. I'm going to start with medium heat. I'm just going to add all my vegetables. And really, for my seasoning on my vegetables, it changes. It's kind of like whatever I might have while we're out camping at the time. And looks like those vegetables actually soaked up quite a bit of that oil. We're going to add a little bit back to it. So tonight, for seasoning on it, I'm going to do a little bit of salt, pepper, carry over the garlic powder into the vegetables as well. I figured tonight we'll do a little bit of original Mrs. Dash. All you want to do with your vegetables is cook them until they're about soft, or until they're as tender as you want them to be. Your preference. So this could take anywhere, from just a couple of minutes up to, 5 minutes or so, depending on what you're cooking. I've done this with asparagus before. I've also done it with fresh snap green beans. Really, whatever you want, you pick your vegetable. There's nothing rhyme or reason on what you do or do not have to do. So I can see as I'm even stirring it right now, my vegetables are starting to become soft and wilt down, which is what I want. So, if this process isn't happening fast enough for you, just throw your lid back on there for a couple minutes, which I'm going to do here in a second. My pierogies are not wanting to stay where they are. Fine. Alright, so a little bit more oil because that's soaked up most of that. Alright. Throwing these vegetables on, it took up the caramelized onions that were on the bottom of the skottle. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cover it for just a couple minutes just to finish up the vegetables. Alright, see how the vegetables are doing? That looks good. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add in the sausage now. Usually I don't have to re-season once I put the sausage on. Usually I do plenty of that on my vegetables. But by all means, season with whatever you want to and add as much as you want. I know the recipe that I put for the Kielbasa skottle, I think I really just did salt and pepper, garlic and onion powder maybe. And different vegetables. This is the first time I think I've done it with the squash. Alright, so before I add those pierogies back in. I want to kind of get the sausage where it's starting to brown on the outside a little bit. I always buy the pre-cooked stuff, so it's not like I have to fully, you know, make sure it's cooked all the way through. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cover it back up and let it finish cooking. I still have medium heat. I have not changed it. If you see that things are really starting to cook too fast or burning, just turn it down a little bit. It's windy here today, so I do have the wind guard on. We actually keep it on all the time for our burner, so the wind isn't causing too much of an issue for me. But if you do have the wind guard, we've noticed that if you keep it on all the time, even when it's not windy, that you start to see that things do cook faster and easier for you. Alright, we'll go ahead and we'll check it. Looks like the dog's going to have a little bit of a treat later when she comes back out, since I just dropped the sausage. Alright, this is almost done. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover it up one more time. My vegetables look done. I'm just going to make sure it's thoroughly heated. Couple more minutes and we'll be all good and done. Alright. Looks like we're all finished. So you can do one of two different ways. I typically kind of just leave it like this. That way people can grab however many pierogies they want, and then they can grab whatever vegetables they want, an amount of sausage, and be on their way. But I think for tonight I'm just going to scoot these down a little bit and nestle them in. That way they can all get the flavors together. Dog's really gonna have a couple extra treats because now I got 2 sausages down on the ground. Alright, here we go. So that is my version of pierogies, sausage and vegetables. I do hope here in the next couple more weeks, hopefully not too much longer than that, that I can keep doing some videos for you guys. So if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram and you see some of the things that we've cooked and you want me to do a video about it, please send us a message or comment and let us know. That way then I can work that in and see what I can do for you guys. But hopefully you guys enjoy the video. You find it useful and something that helps you with your scottle if you're having issues with it or trouble with it. And I know where everybody sees pictures of finished food and you go, you know, you wish you knew how they got it done that way. Hopefully this kind of gives some insight, and hope everybody enjoyed the video. Again, please let me know if there's something you want me to even just try on the scottle, something that you're not sure of. I'll be willing to experiment and try it out for you. But hopefully everybody enjoys their camp dinner.